You know that feeling when you think you know someone completely. 7 years of marriage, shared dreams. Sunday morning pancakes, inside jokes that nobody else gets. My wife Amanda seemed unusually excited about planning our anniversary dinner. She insisted on handling everything, told me to meet her at Marcello's at 7 sharp. I was hopeful. Maybe this would reconnect us after months of distance. I even bought her that white gold bracelet she mentioned. Spent $2,000 I had saved. I had no idea the surprise she had planned would change everything. Before we dive into what happened that night, I would love to know where you are watching from. Drop your city or country in the comments below. And if you are curious to hear how a single word and one decisive action completely shifted the power dynamic in the worst moment of my life, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe. Because what unfolded at that restaurant and what I did in the next 24 hours, well, you need to hear this from the beginning. Let me take you back so you understand how we got here. Amanda and I met at the University of Michigan 12 years ago. We were both 21, young and full of plans. She was studying marketing, I was in architecture. We got married at 25, right after I landed my first real job at Morrison & Associates, a mid-sized firm in Detroit. Those first few years were good, really good. We had our routines, our traditions. Sunday mornings I would make blueberry pancakes while she brewed coffee. Wednesday nights were movie nights. Her choice one week, mine the next. Simple things that made us feel connected. I worked my way up at Morrison. Put in long hours, took on extra projects, made sacrifices. Last year I made senior architect. It was a big deal. More responsibility, better pay, actual creative control on projects. But it meant longer days, occasional weekends at the office. I thought Amanda understood. She had her own career, climbing the ladder at a tech startup, downtown marketing manager position she had worked hard for. Looking back now, the signs were there for about 6 months. She started working late more frequently, always had her phone face down on the table. Our Sunday pancake tradition faded. She said she wanted to sleep in. Movie nights became her scrolling through her phone while I watched alone. I blamed myself. Thought I was working too much, not being attentive enough. Classic mistake, right? Taking responsibility for someone else's choices. When our 7th anniversary approached, she suddenly got excited. Said she wanted to plan a special surprise dinner. Told me not to worry about reservations or anything, she had it handled. Just show up at Marcello's, this upscale Italian place downtown, at 7 on the dot. I was relieved, honestly. Thought maybe she was making an effort to fix things between us. Maybe I had been overthinking her distance. I took a half day off work that afternoon. Came home early, showered, put on the navy suit she bought me last Christmas. While getting ready, I found a bottle of cologne in the bathroom I did not recognize. Expensive-looking dark bottle, some brand I had never heard of. For a second I paused, but then figured maybe she bought it as part of my anniversary gift. I dismissed it. Big mistake. I drove to Marcello's with that small jewelry box in my jacket pocket. The bracelet had cost me 2 months of careful saving, but she was worth it. Or so I thought. I arrived 5 minutes early, because I am always early habit from years of client meetings. The restaurant was beautiful. Dim lighting, candles on every table. Soft jazz playing, intimate booths with burgundy leather. Romantic. Perfect for an anniversary. I gave my name to the hostess, a young woman with dark hair pulled back tight. She looked at me then, down at her reservation list, and something changed in her expression. She would not quite meet my eyes. At the time I thought maybe I had something on my face or my tie was crooked. Now I realize she knew. She knew what I was walking into. She led me through the restaurant to a corner booth, and that is when my stomach dropped. Amanda was already there. She wore a red dress I had never seen before, form-fitting, expensive-looking. Her hair was done up in a way she usually only did for major work events. And she was not alone. Next to her sat a man I did not recognize. Late 20s, maybe 30 at most. Confident smile, expensive watch, catching the candlelight, perfectly styled hair. He looked comfortable, too comfortable. I stood there frozen for what felt like an hour but was probably 5 seconds. The jewelry box suddenly felt heavy in my pocket. My brain could not process what I was seeing. Was this a work colleague? A surprise guest? Some kind of joke? Amanda looked up and saw me. Her face did this strange thing, a mixture of nervousness and something else. Defiance, maybe. Like she had been caught but was not sorry. She gestured to the empty seat across from them. Her voice was steady when she spoke. "Derek, sit down. This is Kyle. Kyle, this is my husband." The way she said it so casual, like she was introducing a new coworker at a meeting. Kyle actually extended his hand across the table like we were about to discuss quarterly projections. The audacity of it made my head spin. I did not shake his hand. I just stared at Amanda, waiting for an explanation that made sense. She took a breath, and then she said the words that burned into my memory. "I wanted us all to meet, because Kyle and I have been seeing each other. We work together. I think it is time we talk about our future, like adults." Like adults. As if ambushing your husband at your anniversary dinner with your affair partner was the mature way to handle things. As if I was the unreasonable one for standing there in shock. Kyle decided to contribute. "Man, I respect what you guys had, but sometimes people grow apart. You know." His tone was sympathetic, like he was trying to console me about a failed business venture. I noticed his hand move under the table, landing on Amanda's thigh. She did not move it away. That small gesture, that casual ownership, hit harder than any words could. The waiter chose that exact moment to appear. Poor guy walked into a tension so thick you could cut it with a knife. He asked if we were ready to order, his voice uncertain. The absurdity of the situation crashed over me. My wife and her boyfriend waiting for me to have a civilized dinner discussion about dismantling my marriage. And something inside me just went cold and clear. 1,000 responses flooded my mind in that moment. I could flip the table. I could shout, make a scene, let everyone in this restaurant know what kind of person sits across from me. I could grab that jewelry box and throw it in her face. I could break down, beg, ask what I did wrong, promise to change. I could cry. I could rage. But then something clicked into place. A moment of absolute clarity. If I gave them drama, I would become the villain in their story. The crazy husband who could not handle the truth. The emotional wreck who made a scene. They would comfort each other over my reaction bond, over how difficult I made things. No, I was not giving them that satisfaction. I was not giving them anything. I sat down slowly, placed the jewelry box on the table between us without a word. Amanda's eyes flicked to it, then back to my face. She looked confused. This was not the reaction she expected. Kyle shifted in his seat, uncomfortable now. The waiter stood there, pen poised over his pad, absolutely lost. I looked up at the waiter, and my voice came out calm. "Can you split the check 3 ways? I will just have water, and the salmon. Medium rare." I said it like I was ordering lunch on a Tuesday, like this was the most normal thing in the world. The waiter nodded quickly, and disappeared, probably grateful to escape. Amanda leaned forward. "Derek, are you not going to say anything? Do you not want to talk about this?" Her voice had an edge of frustration. She wanted a reaction. Needed one, probably. Some sign that 7 years meant something, that this hurt me, that she had power over my emotions. I looked at her, really, looked at her, and felt nothing but a strange sense of finality. What is there to say? You have clearly made your decision. Congratulations. The word landed flat and cold. Kyle tried to jump in, playing peacemaker. "Look, this does not have to be hostile. We are all adults here." There was that word again. Adults. I turned to Kyle and I almost smiled. "You are right. No hostility. I hope you know what you are signing up for." Amanda is great at surprises. His face flushed. Amanda's mouth opened, but nothing came out. I had taken the wind out of their sails completely. They had prepared for anger, for tears, for negotiation, not for indifference. My salmon arrived. I ate it slowly, methodically. It was actually pretty good, cooked perfectly. Around me, Amanda kept trying to justify her choices. We grew apart. I needed excitement. You were always working. Each excuse was a window into how she had rewritten our history to make herself the victim. I let her talk. Did not argue. Did not defend myself. Just ate my meal. Kyle tried to be sympathetic, but could not quite hide the smugness underneath. He thought he had won something. I wondered how long it would take for him to realize what he had actually gotten. A woman who blindsides her husband at an anniversary dinner is not exactly a prize, but he would figure that out eventually. Not my problem anymore. While they talked, my mind was already 3 steps ahead. I needed a lawyer. Jake Romano, my old college roommate, had gone into family law. I needed to secure our finances. Joint bank account, house deed, car titles. Good thing we never had kids. I had always wanted them, but Amanda kept saying later after her next promotion, after we saved more. Now I understood why. She had one foot out the door for months, maybe longer. The meal lasted 45 minutes but felt like 4 hours. Every minute I sat there calm and collected, Amanda grew more agitated. She wanted me to fight for her, to break down and beg her not to do this. By staying composed, I was taking away her narrative. Kyle started checking his phone, bored with the whole thing now that the drama had fizzled. The check came. I looked at my portion. $63 for salmon water and the collapse of my marriage. I pulled out my wallet, counted out exact cash, and stood up. Amanda's head snapped up. "Where are you going? We need to discuss logistics." Her voice had an edge of panic now. I looked down at both of them. "My lawyer will be in touch. Enjoy your evening." I grabbed my coat from the rack. Left that jewelry box, sitting on the table between them. $2,000 of wasted hope. Amanda called my name as I walked away. I did not turn around. Did not pause. Just walked straight out into the cool evening air. I sat in my car for 10 minutes before I could turn the key. My hands were shaking, not from sadness, but from pure adrenaline. The calm I had maintained inside was a performance, and now that I was alone, the reality started seeping in. 7 years. Gone. Destroyed in a surprise dinner. I drove home on autopilot, every red light feeling like an eternity. When I pulled into the driveway of our suburban colonial house with the blue shutters Amanda had insisted on, I realized it would never feel like home again. I went inside. The house was empty, quiet. Amanda was still at the restaurant, probably trying to process what had just happened, maybe celebrating with Kyle. I did not care. I moved with purpose now. Went upstairs to our bedroom and pulled out a duffel bag from the closet. Started packing. Clothes, toiletries, laptop chargers, the essentials. I found our wedding album on the shelf, flipped through it briefly. The photos looked like strangers. I felt nothing. Then I did something smart. I went to my home office and logged into our joint bank account. My blood went cold. 2 weeks ago, Amanda had transferred $15,000 to her personal account. $15,000. This was not a sudden decision. This was not a moment of weakness. She had been planning this, calculating, preparing her exit, while I worked late hours to afford anniversary bracelets. I took screenshots of everything. The transfer, the account balances, every transaction from the past 6 months. Documentation would matter. Then I called Marcus, my best friend since high school. Told him everything in short, clipped sentences. His response was immediate. "Come stay at my place tonight. And call Jake first thing tomorrow morning. Do not wait." I threw the duffel bag in my car and drove to Marcus's apartment downtown. He met me at the door with a beer and did not ask questions, just let me sit on his couch in silence. Around midnight, my phone started buzzing. "Amanda," 12 texts in a row. The first few were defensive. "You embarrassed me. You could have handled that better. We need to talk like adults." Then they shifted to apologetic. "I am sorry. I did not mean for it to happen like that. Can we please talk?" Then angry. "You cannot just leave. This is my house too. Answer me." I did not respond to any of them. Instead, I spent the night on Marcus's couch documenting everything I could remember. Dates she said she was working late. Times she came home smelling different. The cologne in the bathroom. The new clothes. The distance. All of it. I barely slept, running on adrenaline and anger that I had kept buried during that dinner. At 8 the next morning, I called Jake Romano. He answered on the second ring. "Jake, I need a divorce lawyer." "I am the divorce lawyer, Derek." What happened? I told him everything. He listened without interrupting, and when I finished, he said, "Come to my office. Bring everything you have. We file today." By 9, I was sitting in his downtown office laying out bank statements, screenshots, a timeline of events. Jake reviewed everything with the focus of a surgeon. "Okay, here is the situation. Michigan is a no-fault state, so her affair does not technically matter for the divorce itself, but it gives us leverage in negotiations. And this," he tapped the bank transfer records, "this shows financial deception. She was planning this. That helps us." He explained the assets. The house was in both our names, bought 5 years ago, but I had documentation proving I paid 80% of the mortgage, plus all the major renovations last year. New kitchen, finished basement, all of it. I had kept receipts because I am organized like that. Never thought I would need them for this. Jake leaned back in his chair. "We file today. Catch her completely off guard. Request temporary orders that she vacate the marital home. Given her affair and the financial transfers, we have a solid case. How do you want to play this?" I did not hesitate. "Fast and clean. I want this done." He nodded. By 11:30, the papers were ready. I signed my name on line after line, each signature feeling surreal. Jake filed electronically. Before noon, just like I promised myself at that dinner table, Amanda was served with divorce papers. But I did not stop there. Jake also filed a temporary restraining order, preventing her from accessing our joint accounts or removing any items from the house beyond her personal belongings. I changed every password I had. Bank accounts, email, utilities, streaming services, everything. Then I called a locksmith. By 3 that afternoon, every lock on our house was changed. I called my boss, explained I was going through a divorce and needed a week off. He was understanding, told me to take the time I needed. My phone had 17 missed calls from Amanda by the time I silenced it. I did not care. I was done reacting to her. Now she was reacting to me. At 6 that evening, I was back at the house when I heard a key trying to turn in the front door lock. Then again. Then banging. I opened the door with the chain lock still on. Amanda stood there, makeup running, eyes red. "Derek, what are you doing? We need to talk about this like adults." That phrase. Again. I almost laughed. I kept my voice level. "My lawyer sent you the papers. You will discuss everything with him. You have 48 hours to collect your personal belongings. Schedule it through Jake's office." She looked genuinely shocked. "You cannot kick me out of my own house." I tilted my head. "Check the deed. Check who has been paying the mortgage. Check the court order." Then I started to close the door. She put her hand on it, trying different tactics now. Tears. "Derek, please. Kyle means nothing. I made a mistake. 7 years, Derek. 7 years I looked at her crying on my porch and felt that same cold clarity from the restaurant. You are right. 7 years. And you threw it away for a dinner table introduction. Goodbye, Amanda." I closed the door. Heard her crying, then shouting, then finally her footsteps walking away. Car door slam. Engine starting. Silence. I walked to the kitchen, poured 3 fingers of bourbon, and sat in the dark living room. The house felt bigger somehow, emptier but cleaner. My phone buzzed one more time. A text from Kyle. "Hey man, I did not know she was gonna do it like that. That was messed up." I deleted it without responding. He was not worth my energy either. The divorce moved faster than I expected. Turns out when everything is documented and one party has clearly been planning their exit, there is not much to fight about. Amanda tried to drag it out at first, wanted to negotiate for the house. Jake shut that down quickly with the mortgage records and the fact that she had been having an affair with a coworker which violated her company's ethics policy. Yeah, that came out. She got fired 3 weeks after our anniversary dinner. Apparently, office romances between managers were explicitly forbidden.